Hey everyone, welcome to the first broadcast of 5 questions from Coach Ryan's basement. My name is Chris Ryan and I'm the head coach at Mercyhurst University. I hope this broadcast finds everyone safe and doing well as we handle the COVID-19 situation that currently has us all tied up a little bit. So what we're doing here is every Monday we're gonna produce a video here. 5 questions. We asked last week for people to send in questions, and it's been a resounding success. So if you don't hear your question, if we don't answer your question in this episode, just keep tuning in. We're going to try to get through them over the upcoming weeks. So with no further delay, we'll get into the first question, which makes a lot of sense with what's going on right now. And the question is, what effects do you believe COVID-19 is going to have on recruiting? I think the effects are already apparent. I'm doing a recruiting broadcast from my basement. But a couple things. One, roster sizes. I think you're going to see roster sizes swell. I mean, next year, I think every team's going to have a certain percentage of their fifth-year guys return. So you're really going to end up with 2 freshman classes with everyone getting another year of eligibility due to the NCAA ruling. So you're going to be looking at expanded roster sizes. And obviously that has some effects, has effects on playing time, has effects on scholarship, it has effects on teams' budgets. So I think that there's going to be a lot of changes that are brought about because of the COVID-19, and many of those are still being answered. A lot of coaches, a lot of schools, administrators just don't have those answers yet. There's no protocol for what we're dealing with. It's not written in a student handbook. We're sort of making decisions as information is made available, doing the best we can. So yeah, it's an ever-evolving situation. Second question is, what do you look for in a recruit? All right, and I think that the first thing is the 3 A's. You have academics, you have attitude, and then you have athletics. So obviously with academics, every school, Mercyhurst included, wants to attract the highest academic student athlete that they can. So that comes into play in a lot of different ways. But we here at Mercyhurst just feel that those student athletes, hardworking guys, have great aptitude, and they usually bleed into the next thing is attitude. You never really know what you have until a student athlete is on campus. Every student athlete, when you're recruiting them, is an angel. Every coach is Vince Lombardi. We get to campus and we find out what each other has. So attitude, though, just the ability to be a good teammate, to be a good citizen, to have great work ethic. I think it goes a long way. Here at Mercyhurst, we push you pretty hard. So you have to have someone who understands big picture and what we're doing and why we're doing with it. We also get into 3 questions that I always ask recruits when they're here on campus. Okay. One is, do you play multiple sports? I think multiple sport athletes are well-rounded. We like to see that there's interest in other areas. We often ask kids too, what else do you do outside of athletics with it? I also want to know, sort of tying into that, do you have a job? Do you know how to handle your time commitments? Do you know how to manage your studies along with other things? The other thing I get from guys with jobs is just sometimes a heightened level of responsibility. And when you get to school, I mean, obviously, if you're going to be a student athlete, especially at and be able to play intercollegiate athletics, you're going to have to be able to balance your time and make great decisions. And I think employment is a big part of that at a young age. And lastly, do you own a dog? Yeah, we always check for dog people. Sorry, cat people. There's not a ton of you in the locker room. I got 2 myself, and we always ask if you have a dog. So those are a couple things that we look for. Some maybe a little more serious than others, but all are asked. The third question here, it says, what should I email to you besides film? Okay, what I think there's two things that you can email me is going along with film. One, highlight tapes, but we all know that you're a good player. So if you send a highlight tape with all 45 of your goals on from the year before, we sort of expect it with it. So along with that highlight tape, send a game tape, send a half, send some kind of extended footage so that we can see what you do well, and also maybe some of your weaknesses, and be able to get a good evaluation on you to help you make a good informed decision as far as your college choice goes. An updated transcript. Okay, we always say in the office, if a recruit tells us he has a 3.0, it's a 2.8. If someone tells us he has a 3.5, it's a 3.3. So give the coaches the ability, check out a transcript, verify your academic information, and again, help you be recruited on sound footing with good facts moving forward. The other thing that you should do, maybe not as far as emailing in, but most schools have an online questionnaire, athletic questionnaire. Fill one of those out, because it sort of serves different purposes. One, it obviously makes sure that we have all your pertinent contact information and personal information. But then also, most of those questionnaires of schools are connected to other aspects of the institution. So once you fill it out, admissions is going to get those, get that information. They're going to know what you want to study. They're just going to be able to keep better track of you and help you get a better idea of the school through information and help with visits and such. So again, fill out those questionnaires. And just make sure, especially right now where we're not quite sure when students and their prospective student athletes and their families are going to be able to visit campus, make sure there's just a clear line of communication between you and the coaching staff. And obviously we'll be working the other way with you guys also. Question 4 on 5 questions from Coach Ryan's basement. What does it take to be a lacrosse player at Mercyhurst? I think you go back to the 3 A's, academics, attitude, and athleticism. Academics, we want to make sure that we're getting the right student athlete here. Not always so-called the best student athlete. We're looking for the right fit. So academics, I think, is a huge indicator of that. Obviously, we want someone that can handle college athletics, budget their time, like we mentioned before. And we also believe that academic achievement is indicative of a student athlete's level of maturity. Can you make a good decision at an earlier time than maybe some of your peers? And I've always said that is one of the best indicators of collegiate success, is the level of maturity that a student athlete enters their respective schools at. Attitude, maybe that ties into maturity also, but we want to make sure, again, that it's the right fit for us as well as the student athlete. We want to make sure that someone's a good teammate, you're a good citizen, you have the proper work ethic, you can take criticism, you're coachable, and like we say, you're a team first guy. Sometimes you don't know exactly what you have till you get here. Whether it's the student athlete or the coaching staff, but we want to make sure, again, that someone has the type of attitude that's a championship level attitude. And then obviously athletics. You got to have a high level of athleticism. I think going along with that also is just a high compete level. Being able to go out and earn your keep every day. Be able to recognize that what we're doing is a positive for you, whether it's in the weight room, on the field, in the classroom. And again, just being a college athlete with it. The 5th and final question from Coach Ryan's 5 questions from his basement is, this one's different. When you're on the road, where do you like to eat? Eating is very important to me. So I do have my spots. I spent a lot of time. And I guess what we'll do is we'll just take care of upstate New York today. How about that? So when I'm in Syracuse, always making a point to try to get to the Allen Angus Pub downtown, owned by one of our alums, Matt Beach, and Matt has been a state champion. Or Allen Angus is the home of the state championship cheeseburger. So I implore everyone to get down to Allen Angus and try one of those things. When I'm in Rochester, any of us who are Rochesterians know that you go to Nick Tahoe's. You have to have a garbage plate. You can find garbage plates in a lot of different places, but the original with the correct amount of grease left over in your plate after you're done with it, and the heightened sense that you might have to have triple bypass when you get done, that's downtown downtown Rochester at Nick Tahoe's. So if you're in Rochester, try to make sure that you stop by and get yourself one of the world famous garbage plates. In Buffalo has got wonderful late night food. It's where I got introduced to blue cheese on pizza, and my figure has never been the same since. But when I'm in Buffalo, I gotta go to Blaisdell Pizza. And at Blaisdell Pizza, my go-to is the bacon cheeseburger sub. It is exquisite. I highly recommend it. And those are sort of, you know, the spots along Route 90 that I like to hit. It's always good. A lot of times too, I always like to catch up with old friends, other coaches, alumni while I'm out of town. Dinner's a great way to, while you're on the recruiting trail, catch up with people. So it is very important to me. Eating healthy is something I think about on the road, not always practiced. Eating healthy, I can't really think of eating healthy on the road. That's pretty difficult to do. So those are my hot spots at this point when in upstate New York. That about does it for our first edition of 5 questions from Coach Ryan's basement. We will be back next Monday answering 5 more. We appreciate all the questions that have been sent in your interest in Mercyhurst University and the men's lacrosse program. Make sure you give us a follow. You can find us on Twitter at Hurst M Laxtrain and by the same name on Instagram. But again, we appreciate you guys tuning in today. Send in those questions, and we will see you next Monday. Take care.